So what to expect when you're selling your home? Selling your home is more than the paperwork and packing. It's about letting go of a place that holds a lot of memories, and that's not easy. Often the sellers are very surprised by how emotional and sometimes unpredictable the whole process can be. So I want to prepare you for what to expect, both emotionally and logistically, so that you're not caught off guard. Many sellers are anxious about getting the price right, timing the market, and keeping the house show ready, even at the moment's notice, all while you're preparing for the next move into your next chapter. But this is very normal, and I'm here to help you manage all the stress with a clear plan on our side. The first part of the stressor in the selling process is getting the price right. Sellers are very anxious to get the price right, and it's because if the property is priced too high for the market, in that case, the buyers can ignore the property, and the property can sit for a long time on the market without getting offers. If it's priced too low, the buyers keep wondering what's wrong with the property, and that also causes you to leave money on the table. So I will guide you with coming up with the right price for your property based on the market data, the buyer's affordability, current mortgage rates, current competition, etc., so that you don't get overwhelmed with picking the right price for your property. Again, price and time go hand in hand. There's not a price for the property. It is a price based on how quickly you want to get your property sold. The second stressor in the selling process is the disruptions during showings. So once the property is on the market and the buyers want to come and see your property, the private showings are definitely disruptive to your regular life. The sellers are expected not to be around while the buyers are touring the property. And not just that, keeping the property show ready at a moment's notice, especially if you're working from home with kids and pets, it is not an easy task. So that is definitely another stresses which I commonly hear from the sellers. The next stressful part is letting go of the property emotionally. So when you have buyers walking in your property, they can make remarks about the property, and even after the showings, they can give you feedback through the agents. And many times you find that these feedbacks are not always very kind. It's not personal. It's just that the buyers are imagining themselves, their future in your property. The next part, which causes stress for the sellers, are the waiting game. The waiting period. Even if you have enough of showings and you don't get the offers rolled in, the anxiety can kick in. Depending upon the market conditions, the offers can take anywhere between a couple of days to a few weeks before it can start rolling in. So that phase of uncertainty of whether you're going to get offers and what kind of offers you're getting, all this uncertainty can cause anxiety in sellers. Once the buyer's offer has been accepted, the property's sale is not finalized until closing. So during the time period between when the property is under contract under one buyer's name till the closing, that is when the buyer does his due diligence in the form of home inspections, and the bank has to take care of appraisals and does all the paperwork to get the buyer approved for the mortgage. Occasionally, a buyer may walk out of the contract based on inspection findings or a low appraisal, or the worst case of a mortgage denial. This can cause the sellers to be sitting on the edge for a long time between the time the property is under contract to the closing time. Now, how can we reduce the stress in this whole process? When we get to meet, we'll have a discussion about what are your financial goals, what are your personal goals, what do you want to achieve after the sale? Not just your bottom line dollars, but how do you want the whole process to be handled? So for that, once we discuss your goals, I'll create a timeline and a checklist so you know what to expect next, what happens after each step is done. I can help you coordinate with the vendors that can help you do the repairs and upgrades, and I can help you figuring out which repairs and upgrades will give you the maximum return on the investment. Regarding decluttering, deep cleaning, and making the house spotless to get your house show ready, I can help you connect with the appropriate vendors. Now, when the property is on the market, I will be coordinating all the showings with the other buyer's agents, and I'll make sure that I will aim for giving as much notice to you as possible so that your life is not disrupted at the moment's notice. But sometimes, occasionally, we'll have some showings which will have some last minute showings which you may have to accommodate. Once the showings are complete, I will collect the feedback from the buyer's agents, and also I will weekly keep you posted about how the market is responding to our marketing efforts. And if we need to make any adjustments regarding the price or presentation of the property, I will keep you posted every week so that we are not caught off guard. Now, once the offers start rolling in, I'll help you evaluate each offer, go through all the pros and cons of each offer, and help you pick the right offer. Once the offer is picked, then once the property is under contract, and the sellers have just to keep waiting until the buyers remove all the contingencies in the contract. So usual contingencies like home inspection contingencies, appraisal, and mortgage contingencies. Occasionally we'll have offers where the buyers have to sell their property before they can buy yours. I'll keep a tab on all these contingencies and make sure all contingencies are removed and we're all set for closing. Occasionally a deal may fall apart because a buyer may find something which he's not happy about from the home inspection, or based on a low appraisal, or the worst case of a mortgage denial. In whatever case, I will be there to protect your interests and guide you appropriately and pivot at the right moment. So once the offer has been accepted on a property, it can take anywhere between 4 weeks to 6 weeks to close the sale. On the closing day, the seller signs the legal documents required to transfer the property onto the new buyer's name. The buyer transfers the funds in the seller's account and gets its keys. The seller is supposed to move out of the property before the closing day, unless a rent back agreement has been signed and included in the contract, by which the seller can stay in the house even after closing by paying a rent to the new owner of the property. Between the preparation time to the closing, it can take anywhere between 2 months to 4 months, depending upon the market condition, the buyer activity, and the initial asking price of the house. A well-priced and a well-maintained house in a hot seller's market can sell much quicker. So, to summarize, home selling process, even though it's a big step, with the right plan in place, it need not be overwhelming process. I'll be helping you throughout the process. I'll be there with you from the beginning to the end to guide you through the whole process so that you can move forward with confidence, clarity, and peace of mind.